Hey there, Regina Andler here, and it is time for Coffee with Regina. And I have my friend Wendy Weber back with us again. Wendy is the song lady. So before I go into your bio, I just want to say welcome, Wendy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me back. I didn't break it the last time, I guess.
Let me tell y'all a little bit about Wendy because I've got this bio here. It's a pretty sizable bio, and I'm just going to pull bits and pieces out, and then Wendy's going to fill in all of the little pieces. So she
Ooh.
is a remarkable individual whose life is a vibrant melody of resilience and empowerment. With over 5 decades of experience as a parrot owner, this comes in handy when you do the whole music thing. Wendy's spirit resonates with the colorful personalities of her feathered companions. She's an energy healing practitioner, and she challenges her energy, her vibrant energy, to transform lives and create a harmonious balance of well-being. And we have a bunch of things to talk about here, so we'll fill in some of that afterwards. Thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be with you.
Oh, thank you. And
Long as
so
I don't have to drink coffee.
you don't have to drink. Hey, for anybody else who's tuning in, you don't have to drink coffee. You can bring whatever drink of your choice with you. It's okay. Sometimes even I just have my water with me. So Wendy, so when you think about what you do, tell us what you do. I know you get your ukulele with you.
One of them, yeah. What do I do? I do lots of stuff, including I'm the frugal kitchen warrior too, and on Medium, another type of writing that I do about food prep and things for my garden and thinking outside the box. But I have to write a song about that. All right. Energy healing is one thing I do, and I do it from here to anywhere in the world, as long as it's in English and you don't have to look at me. So I do a lot of it locally over the phone. You can do Skype and Zoom and whatever, as long as we're at the same time. I love doing that because it always makes me feel better to make other people feel better. Right? That's an energy thing. It's a give and take. Energy attracts like energy. So you want to have your energy up. You want to have a higher vibration, and that'll attract higher vibration people. It's not like a magnet repels, an energy like attracts. The most fun thing I do though is creating music, and I've been doing that my whole life pretty much.
Yeah,
And
when you talk about that music there and the energy, I just want to add in because we just did in our Facebook group, we did this thing a couple weeks ago called Quantum Happiness, and it's all about the energy.
yeah,
And music is one of those things that can really raise your vibration.
it can. It can also lower it.
Mhm.
So a lot of the songs that I never liked and I don't listen to are the sad songs, and they make you feel worse. And I don't have time to feel worse. It's life is tough enough. But yeah, the music makes a difference. It's not just the sound, the melody. It is also the lyrics, the words. I happen to be gifted at lyrics, and that's probably comes through from my grandmother. Was born in the late 1800s, and she was Phi Beta Kappa from Goucher, so she was an educated woman. My mother went through college, university also, and she majored in English. And you can't see her, but she's still sitting on my shoulder correcting my grammar.
Of course, she'll be in your head forever, making sure that you're correct.
Yeah, and spelling too. But that's another. There's another story about that.
So now I know you create all kinds of different songs for all kinds of different purposes. Pick one because you can create literally a tune, a jingle. You can do it for businesses. You can do it for personal stuff. I know you write like jingles for or songs for people's anniversaries. I don't know. Pick one and run with it because we want to hear what you do.
Well, one of the things that I'm moving into is creating bumper music. I just learned what that is. Bumper music is really what I was calling intro outros for, say, your show, for being on a podcast, for being introduced as a guest. That's your song. on a summit, on your Facebook page, whatever you're doing, if you're before your Facebook Live or your, I don't know how to do LinkedIn Lives, but anywhere that you are appearing, and then people recognize that that's who you are. So the people know that I do this for me everywhere I go. I write songs that make your message sing for your occasion or your business thing, taking your story and making it rhyme so people remember you better each time.
I love it.
So I do that all the time. Do I get bored with it? Yeah, I was thinking of updating it, but that would be somebody else's music. It would not say, hey, that's Wendy. And the other thing that's important is I like to understand all the words. I don't want to have to read the lyrics. So that's another thing that is important to me that I get across. If people don't know what you're saying, what good is it? It's not like an album you're going to listen to over and over and over and over and over again until you'll finally get it. Or you have to go online to find out what the lyrics. Oh, that's what that was. Who's got time for that patience? I want a song to do what it's supposed to do. Tell me the message in a way that makes me feel better. I don't do downer songs. I did one, it's on my CD that's called Promises You Cannot Keep. And we all have that. And that was just a description. It wasn't meant to be a downer, but it was meant to be something that we all have. We've all done it. We've made a promise, and at the time we thought we could, and later on we couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a promise I made to my mother when I wrote that while I was moving her from Chicago to here to Phoenix to be close to me so I could manage all the medical. So I do a lot of songs for me, but this anniversary song I did recently for a 35th wedding anniversary. And this gal I know from another group, and she loves my CD. She has my CD. She bought another one. She and her husband listened to it. They're mostly message songs, and that's not my point when I was originally writing the different songs. When I put it together on the CD, I thought, oh my gosh, these are message songs. Most of them are. And she loved what I do, and I do a variety of different genres. I don't do, sorry, if you want hip hop, go to somebody else. If you, or to AI, if you want heavy metal, not my gig. I can find somebody who will do that for you, but I'm not going to do that. But I do different styles, and I just don't like being bored with music, which is probably why I don't like some of the newer stuff and a lot of the country, because it sounds all alike to me. And it's also a lot of jazz. I did do a jazz version of something on my CD, and it came out that way. But that's the only one, and everything else is different.
How many instruments do you play?
Well, I play ukulele. This is a tenor. This is not a tenor. This is a soprano ukulele. I still have the first one I bought in 1963, and that's all. It's got original everything. And it travels the world with me because it fits in the little carry-on. But I have two tenors, so this is tuned a step above the tenors, and the tenors are tuned. So this is tuned to A, and the tenors are tuned to the key of C,
Okay.
C, G, E, C, G. I have to look at the keyboard right now. Early for me. I cut my teeth playing the piano, and I took lessons for 9 years. I'm really good at playing by ear and the chords, which makes me really good at the ukulele. I'm good at chords, and I will do things at the keyboard that I can't do on the ukulele. When I did the 35th wedding anniversary, that was a combination of being at the keyboard and being an ukulele. And this song was a lot of fun to do, but it was also work. I mean, it's fun work for me. I filled out a questionnaire because I don't know what you want to say unless you tell me. And most people can't think of it. So you have to prompt them, just like you do. in your interviews or your coffees, you ask questions. Where do you go from here? So I took all the important information that they wanted because they specified what was important to them about their love story, how they met, about their son, about their faith, about their, with the church and things they did and hosting students from around the world and the things they did with them. I mean, I got all of that in and they were amazed I got all of that in. AI can't do that. Cannot do that. Most people cannot do that. And the tune came out really lovely. And that'll go into my blog for Easy Way, a snatch of the tune. I do have permission. And it's their song. So I sang it live because it's local here in Phoenix. I'm not doing a lot of traveling right now. And I did a karaoke version with my producer, my engineer, so that I could sing it live and not worry about ukulele, which isn't, the ukulele does a lot of things, but it's not professional sounding. Unless you're Jake Shimburukura, that man can do anything. It's my idol, and I have to dig out the picture I have with me with him when he was here in Phoenix. But the effect, of course, the couple loved this song. They got to approve it. Of course, they approve it. They didn't need a couple of changes. They had one correction, which was great. Something I didn't quite understand. And there was a wedding going on in the hotel below, and they were really noisy. And the husband, Michael, he told me that he was about to kill somebody if they weren't quiet during my singing. They were thrilled with that. But the really cool thing, all the other guests, or many of them, came to me and said, I didn't know this, whatever, about them. And what a wonderful song, because it's not just the words, it is the music. It creates the the emotion. This is early for me, remember. I'm in this is pajamas, right? Yeah, the birds are lucky they got fed. But what was it about the tune? It came from what they were telling me about their love story. How they were both tall, how they fit together dancing, how they met. So the chorus started out, we're dancing through life together to music uniquely our own. And then it goes on from there, and that's the chorus. So the chorus got repeated. And then, of course, the verses told the rest of the story, how they, lost their family or family members, someone, how they survived this and that, and the joy of having their son, of just finding out about their son, and the things that they had. They hosted other students, and they all were together. And there was a couple of students from abroad who came in for this anniversary because these people were so special to them. What a gift. And what can their son do? He can take that song and he can give it to any children he has and say, this is who your grandparents were at their 35th wedding anniversary. It's about them. They can put it under a slideshow. They can put it under a video. If you have a video that's silent. And I call it an heirloom. It's an intergenerational song that is a gift, not only to themselves by the couple, but to their son and to anybody who couldn't be at the anniversary party. They can send that wherever they want to. Wow.
Yeah, that is absolutely amazing. And you said a whole bunch of things in there that I want to touch on for our business audience here, because it all plays together. I mean, because everybody who has a business has a life as well. So
really?
Yes, we do. If you don't, let's chat.
That's another chat. Yeah.
That's another conversation for another day. But you packed in a lot there. So one of the things that you said is that let's just start with this one. Your producer. So when you create something, it's not just you sitting where you are right now. talking into a microphone and playing your ukulele. It's professionally produced.
Yeah, yeah. So on this particular one, there's guitar, and you put a track on it for percussion. And I actually did chords for another layer on the keyboard myself. And so if we needed a pianist, we would have gotten that on my CD. I had all kinds of people play. And there's stories on my CD about behind some of the songs, not all of them. I have the stories, but we thought it would be too long. But what people told me listening to my CD was I listened to the story and then I had to go back and listen to the song. It makes more sense. Where does it come from? When I worked with now this is a new producer for me. This is a new engineer. The song was already done. I had a couple questions I asked him about some lyrics and minor stuff that nobody else would care about. That I wanted it to be as perfect as possible. Nothing is ever completely perfect, but it gets pretty close, and nobody would tell the difference except for me. Nobody. So it's a collaborative thing. And then when we had the guitarist come in, that's another collaboration. He's already got the MP3 that we sent. He knows what it's going to sound like. We did an initial, and it depends on who you're working with. We did an initial recording, and then we had the track of the percussion on there. And I don't want the music to overshadow the singing and the meaning, but it is there to enhance it. So you don't notice it. There's nothing standing out unless there's a part where there's a bridge and there's no singing. And that's when you would want to have maybe some extra embellishments by the artist, whether it's the piano or the guitar or whatever, the flute or whatever it is. There was all kinds of things on my CD. But I wanted this to be basic and simple, and it was enough. So you don't want to overshadow the singing, the message. You want it to enhance and to support it. And a lot of people forget that. So a lot of the songs that I hear, bands that I don't care for, and I never did. I grew up with classical music and musicals, and a lot of the old standards, and then of course the college folk. I'm a '60s college gal. So you want it to be if the music is overpowering, a lot of people like that. That's great. That's not good for a message song. For a song about a story. If you're repeating something over and 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 over again, then it doesn't matter. Somebody will pick it up eventually. But if you're telling a story that keeps moving, then you want to have it clearly heard and not overpowered. So that's my opinion. Now I'm just one in many, many, many songwriters, but I specialize. Most songwriters do not, and I won't write it for another artist. There are plenty of people to do that because they know their style, they know the genre. I'm creating from scratch. Although people get to choose, well, what kinds of music would you prefer? And then I take it from there, and I mixed a couple of things styles that this couple wanted or liked.
Right. And so you said something in there. I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget about it. You used the word overshadow. So the music overshadowing the lyrics. And what I thought of from a business standpoint, when we think about content and we put out there for content, I think that's what a lot of people do with their content. They overshadow it with all the other junk and around it without getting to the point, and then or highlighting the point, and people miss it because they don't have a verse or chorus that's being sung 20 times in their content, so they're not picking it up. So when you think about songwriting and just content writing, there's a lot of crossover similarities on how clear you want to be with your message.
Yeah. But there's also a sense of lyricism, and I have the ability to do that. As I said, it's probably hereditary. But this song is, it's sort of like a poem, but not all poems translate into music, into a song. They don't. So when I'm writing, I have a cadence in mind. I have a beat in mind. I might work to a different tune that's the same beat, and then I'll change it. I've done that before. There's a feeling from the music alone. The lyrics need to match. Oftentimes everything comes out together. I don't know where it comes from, it just does. Sometimes the lyrics come first. Sometimes the music comes first, but more often they're married to each other, because I cannot finish it without having an idea, at least,
Mhm.
of the music. And as it's just something that I'm able to do.
Right.
And that's something else that AI doesn't have the ability to do. It's not creative. It's still programmed. It's still artificial in there somewhere. It doesn't have my heart. In fact, and I asked ChatGPT once about that, and it said, I'd be happy to help you, but you have to provide this heart or the soul. It recognizes it doesn't have that.
Yeah, and we talked about that a little while ago, and we mentioned about AI, and a lot of people are turning to AI for different things, and like you said, the opening, the what is it, the beginning, the end of the podcast. I don't
Intro,
use them.
outro. Yeah.
Intro, outro. You can tell we don't use them. We do live streams here, so what you see is what you get. It's not a podcast; it's a live stream. So when you think about the intros and outros, I mean, a lot of people are turning to AI generated AI tools to
Mm-hmm.
generate what they're viewing as unique music for them,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like you said, AI, when it comes to that, AI is great for a lot of things, and it's good for some things, and then it's really bad for other things. So you need to pick and choose what it is that you're using it for. And like you said with your music, it's really hard for a machine to understand the feelings and the emotion, because you hit the nail on the head earlier when you were saying it was all about the emotion,
Yeah.
and everything is about emotion.
Mm-hmm.
So people buy based on emotion, people connect based on emotion. Everything is based on emotion, and in your music, if you don't have that emotion, it doesn't work.
There was I mentioned to you that my daughter had passed away, and one of the things that I hang on to is just recently, and I'd written a song for her bat mitzvah
Mhm.
30 years ago, about her, and that was my first original, completely original song, because this tune kept knocking at my head. I mean, it would not leave me alone. I was writing a poem.
Mm.
That's the thing. This song captures her essence before Alzheimer's stole her away.
Mm.
And I hang on to that. So I was trying to write another song, looking into writing another song that I've been kicking around for 20 years, that is totally different from anything I've done, about what the rabbi said at her bat mitzvah after she did all the things and read her her speech to everybody, which is all about loving everybody. And uh, that's something that she was able to read, very basic words, but about she loved everybody. And I tried to see what I could do with excuse me, AI, Suno, to be specific. And there's not enough places to put in the kind of prompt that I wanted. It
Hmm.
cannot take the depth. It came out with some interesting words, and if I every time I try to change something, it's still sounded alike. Now it came out with two different versions, and there was a man singing it, and there was a woman singing it.
Hmm.
And it had some of the heart that made me cry listening to it, and the rest of it couldn't get,
Mm.
could not get, and it can't do the original thing that I'm going to do,
Hmm.
as I'm combining different types of music, and I don't think AI can do that. You pick one. Can you stack it together? I don't know. I haven't played with it enough. And actually, I don't know if it's worth my time because I'm better than AI. I'm not as fast, maybe, but I'm pretty quick, and I'm better than AI. So I'll take maybe some of the verbiage because it enhances and it can embellish writing. I do use it when I'm writing prose, and but I trained it based on previous writings that I did all by myself, which I can do. But it's with the music, it's never going to match what I do. If that's okay with you, if what it does for you is fine, go for it. If somebody else can write for you, go for it. And I call that ordinary. If you want extraordinary, talk to the Songbird Lady.
There you go. And we're almost out of time. And I want to talk a little bit about those intros, those outros, and why would you want maybe a jingle for your business? A unique gin.
Yeah.
In my area, my community, it's all about the uniqueness and being unique.
Yeah.
I can't think of any way to be more unique than to have your own special, unique jingle.
It's yours, for one thing.
Yeah.
You don't have to ask for permission. It's created for you. Trying to, depending on how long it's going to be, you can capture the emotion, but at least it's tells about you and it's attached to you. Think of all I watched a movie that I had never seen, and it was with the guy who did Rocky, and their favorite thing, it was in a future, and their favorite thing of the people there who didn't do violence or anything else was listening to the radio station that had all the old jingles on it. Man, oh man, they're all from all the old commercials. I knew every one of them.
Of course you did.
When I grew up. These, we're talking 50 years. I remember them.
Yeah. So a jingle in your brand makes you very memorable.
That is correct. Now, I'm not a brand specialist. I might work with your brand specialist, or you have your brand. I don't create the brand. That's not my area of expertise. But I can take it and make something out of it. So what we would do, no, 15 seconds. It's a long time, really. 30 seconds and maybe a minute. Somebody suggested to have something for their Zoom room waiting room when they have their videos there. That would just be, you could use the minute one there, maybe double repeat it. But that's you. And we want to have something. I don't like being yelled at by music. So I don't like being screamed at. I also like having a nice voice. Now, there are a lot of nice voices that are slightly scratchy. I can tolerate that. I grew up with classical, remember, and Frank Sinatra and Perry Como and all these wonderful singers. A couple of them are still around. I even like Tom Jones, still performing.
That smooth voice.
They're smooth, and then with the women, there's a lot of women who have wonderful voices. I don't like the screaming. There are people who have lovely voices but end up screaming because that's the style, makes them stand out. I turn that off. So you want to have something that people can tolerate listening to that tells a little bit about you or what you do. Maybe it's not about you. Maybe it's just about your outcome.
Mm.
And that describes what you do. But what is everybody looking for? They're looking for the benefit. What's in it for me? WIIFM, that station. What's the outcome? So maybe that's the thing you need to do. But it needs to be maybe a little catchy, maybe a little melodic. I don't know. It depends on what your business is. I'm going to do something different if you're coaching for getting through divorce or coaching for eating better or coaching for, depression, which is something I can also help with the energy healing because you got to get rid of the negative stuff. But I don't coach. So you want to have a coach, if you can use me too, still have a coach. I'm not a coach. I don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I would certainly be a great enhancement, whether it's the music or the energy healing. Can I create a mantra? Yeah. That's how I learned some things. I created a mantra to learn it. I created an acronym, and I wrote a funny article about it in Medium about SPREMF. That describes, because I could never remember all the 6 things that raising your vibration does, the different areas. I could never remember it. So I created the acronym, and they only had one vowel in it, so it's SPREMF, right? So I have fun with that. Listen, I have fun with what I do. If you want to have something more fun, great. If you want to have something more serious, we can do that. But people want to have fun. They want to be edutained. I'm good at that.
Oh, good word. Edutained. I like that.
Didn't make that. I didn't create it, but I learned it somewhere else from the computer guys used to be on the radio locally here. And
Oh, that's an awesome one.
Yeah,
But
they
hey,
did it.
we are overtime now, which is perfectly okay. This is why you came back on again, because we could sit here and talk about music and talk about how you can use it and how it can enhance your business, enhance your life. It can.
Yeah.
I don't know about. Well, I know about you. I don't know about everybody watching this. Music is a huge part of my life.
Cool.
It's like there's songs from when I was a kid to all the way through now, and I'm sure there'll be more as I age and go on even more. Music is an integral part of life, and adding it to your business, adding it to your life, adding it to a special event.
Putting it on the website.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody has their own song on their website.
How unique would that be, right?
Yeah, we all want to stand out. I don't stand out in the energy field, so that's why I concentrate on the music. I have to figure out how to stand out. I have a song about everything is energy, but that doesn't make me stand out. That's just a song about everything is energy. I haven't figured that one out yet. I'm going to deal with Chad on that. But but I stand out here. There are a lot of songwriters, but nobody does what I do in the way that I do it. They don't hear it the way I hear it. They don't feel it the way I hear it.
Right.
The way I feel it.
Right.
But you want to stand out because there's so many coaches for everything.
Yep.
And I'm not particularly fond of doing the coaching myself. I have coaches, but I have been coached and I have done some coaching. I'm trained as a health coach. I don't do it. I'd rather not do it, but I have the background. I'd rather do the music, but I'd rather work with somebody who needs some extra help, whether it's with the music or the energy healing. The specific things that I do that a coach may not do. Or a lot of coaches do energy healing. They don't do the kind I do. I do a very high level, and there are very few number of us who do it.
So with that being said, being over time, if people want to say, you know what, Wendy, I want to hear more about how you might be able to help me with a song, with a jingle, with intro, outro, how do they connect with you?
Well, you can send me a text message and say what it's about. I do give out my number, or you can email me at Wendy Weber with 1B music.com, or you can go to my wall of fame with Easy Way.
Not everybody here is on Easy Way, so
Well,
I've invited folks Not everybody here is on Easy Way though, so tell them what they're going to find out on
Why
Easy Way,
not?
right?
You want to have a big connection? Want to get your message out? I'm doing better with Easy Way than I'm doing with just about every other group I'm with. I still go to other networking events, but the Easy Way. Well, I stand out there because, and they let me sing. So what can I say? Listen, Eric Zuli, he coined the Songbird Lady, and that is sticking.
That is awesome. That is so awesome. So we do have to wrap up here, and we'll put Wendy's Easy Way Wall of Fame. Wall of Fame is basically your profile out on Easy Way.
Yeah.
So for all of you who are not Easy Way folks, it's our profiles out on Easy Way. I'm also a member of Easy Way. And I'll put her Easy Way one out underneath the comments as well here so that you can connect with her and you can check it out because there's all kinds of really cool stuff to see out there. And if you want to connect with Wendy, we've got Wendy at wendywebermusic.com. Did I spell that right? Can you see it on the screen there?
Yep.
Perfect. All right. So, Wendy, thank you, thank you, thank you for adding some music to our day.
Pleasure. I'm going to go and have some breakfast maybe, and then I'll go back to bed. I've got too much to do today.
Thanks all for watching, whether live or on the replay. What was that?
Yeah, you don't mind I was in my pajamas. I mean, it's just
See,
better be here.
you can come to Coffee with Regina any way you like.
Well, that's what I thought.
We'll see you all next time on Coffee with Regina. Bye for now.